Hi guys, welcome to the first video of Masala Nerd. To briefly introduce myself, I'm Apurva. I'm an engineer who's currently working. Food has always been my passion, and in the recent past, fitness and health-based cooking, I would say, kind of converting the dishes that I've indulged on previously, kind of making it healthier has been my routine. I'm going to try and make it pretty fun, like put on a lot of recipes, food challenges, probably sometime in the future collabs as well. So let's cut to the chase and start with today's video. We'll be making a Asian inspired pumpkin burrito. So it'll be a sweet pumpkin burrito, and let's get started. So I have about one over one third cup of chopped sweet pumpkin. I've left the peel on because the peel is supposed to contain a lot of medical properties. A lot of people don't like the difference between the peel in terms of texture because the pulp is really mushy. But I'm going to retain these as slices for today and not mash it up completely, so it's not a big problem. So we'll be roasting the pumpkin. I'm going to be preheating the oven at 450 Fahrenheit. That's roughly about 210 to 215 degrees Celsius. If you do not have an oven or you prefer to cook it, you can just boil it with about 1:2 ratio of water. Or you can put it in a cast iron thick pan and let it cover the lid and let it cook for about 20-25 minutes. So this is going to be roasted for about 15 to 20 minutes on an average. I'm also going to be roasting 2 pods of garlic that we'll be using later in the recipe. I have some sesame oil with me, and I'm just going to be brushing all of them with a little oil and also drizzle some salt on them. So yeah, see you after the roasting. So after about 20 minutes of roasting, this is what the pumpkin looks like. It's almost soft and mushy to the point of hollow. The garlic is slightly roasted to a dark brown color. If you personally prefer under roasted garlic or slightly roasted garlic, you can probably remove just the garlic at about 10 to 12 minutes. The rest of the ingredients we'll be using as is and not stir frying. That might be another route you want to. We'll be roasting some groundnuts for about 5 to 8 minutes till they're light brown so that they can be crushed coarsely. We are now done with the roasting. I'm going to use my rolling pin to crush this coarsely. So we're going to make a burrito the way I like it, with an under creamy side with the veggies and topped with a crunchy top and some oil seasoning. So here's my roasted burrito. If you cannot find a burrito near you for some reason, you can go ahead and use rotis or probably corn tortillas. So this is a whole wheat tortilla. And let's start. The under seasoning that I'll be making is with Greek yogurt. If you cannot find Greek yogurt, you can use normal dahi. You can also use coconut cream if you're vegan. That works pretty much the same. So I'm using roughly 2 spoons of Greek yogurt, and we'll be adding a few ingredients to this. Roasted garlic that we had from roasting with the pumpkin. Just going to be chopping this into minced pieces, if I may say. I'm not very good at looking at the camera while I'm cutting stuff yet, so please excuse me. I'm going to be adding this. I'm going to be adding a little bit of salt. We do not want to over season this because we have a lot of elements that already have salt in them. After this, we're going to be adding a little bit of maple syrup. Not a lot. This is also optional if you want to make a really spicy cream instead of something that's a little more balanced. We're also going to be adding Schezwan Chutney. I have the Ching Schezwan Chutney. If you have the Sriracha or Sriracha, whatever you call it, you can add that as well. They work pretty similarly. So I'm going to be adding half a spoon. I'm just going to use a small whisk and just whisk it in so that we get a fairly even consistency. I have bok choy with me, so this is about 2 to 3 leaves. I have seasoned them with salt and lemon juice to like bring out the bitterness. It's fairly bitter. So if you cannot find bok choy, you can use spinach, baby spinach or lettuce, but it's not going to taste as authentic. So yeah, we're next going to add the pumpkins. If you would like, you can mash them, but I'm not going to do so. So I'm going to add pumpkins and just distribute them vertically along the center, which makes it easier to fold the burrito. And then taking my bok choy and spreading it pretty evenly around the center. You ideally would like to make a rectangle, leaving a little margin on the top and bottom ends and also on the side. Next we have some spring onions with me. I've not used onions in this recipe anywhere because some people do not prefer raw onions, and this is a little less stronger, I would like to say, and it's fairly used in Asian cuisine. So we're going to use a handful of these, again adjust to preference. Post this, we're going to make the chili oil and then top it off with the peanuts, and we're done. The chili oil, I'm going to be using sesame oil, which is one of the oils that can be consumed raw. If you do not have sesame oil, I would say preferably replace it with olive oil and any oil that can be consumed raw, because you do not want to feel that weird taste in your mouth. So yeah, I'm going to be adding to this some chili flakes just to like bring up the heat a little bit. I'm also going to add a little bit of salt to like adjust the overall salt levels. My New Year resolution is to eat lesser salt, so you can see me kind of consciously reducing the amount of salt I'm using in the recipe. But again, I would say feel free to adjust this to your taste. So I'm going to just drop this a little bit over the top. Be careful of how much you want to put in. And then the last step, we have the crushed peanuts that we will drizzle very beautifully along the top. We also have the burnt garlic. This is an optional step. I'm just going to crush it and put it at like 1 or 2 places. Kind of brings out the full flavor. And our last topping for the day is the sesame seeds that is so often associated with the Asian cuisine. It's also a wonderful source of omega-3 acids if you're a vegetarian. So this is the last step. We'll be folding the burrito. I'm going to switch the camera angle so that you can see how I do that. So essentially the key to rolling a good burrito is to reduce the spillage. A fair deal is going to happen anyway, so don't worry too much about it. So you want to hold both these ends with one hand, then carefully drape the right portion over to the center and just turn the burrito this way and hold tightly while you wrap and try to push ingredients in towards the roll. I've roasted my burrito a little over the line, so it's going to be a little more crunchier, but if you do it right, it's going to be fairly soft and easy to handle. So you want to apply pressure and keep pushing the fillings in, and there you go, there's your burrito. And we're going to cut it open and see how it turned out on the inside. Here we go.